it's Heather Moxie and welcome to my channel. Spring is finally here, and in this week's video I'll be showing you how to make the perfect outdoor or indoor bench. This project and video is sponsored by HomeRight, where you can find the tools to make any DIY project easier, faster, and neater. For this project I'll be using HomeRight's small spray shelter, so be sure to check them out using the link down in the description box, and let's get started. For supplies you'll need 5 2x4s in the length you want, paint or stain for the wood, spray paint for the bench legs, a staining pad or brush, a stir stick if you decide to use stain, bench legs, and of course your small spray shelter. So let's talk about this spray shelter. As most of you may know, I currently live in an apartment and I tend to avoid things that involve spray painting since I don't always have access to an area where I can paint. But with a small spray shelter, I don't have to worry about that. It pops right open and I can use spray paint without getting it on my balcony or in the hallways where my landlord may not appreciate it. You can find HomeRight's small spray shelter on their website along with a ton of other helpful DIY tools. After setting up your spray shelter, you can move on to spray painting your bench legs. To keep this project simple and affordable, I used these pre-made bench legs I found online. They came with the hardware I would need, and I can make my bench up to 8 feet long. I placed my bench legs in the spray shelter and gave them several light coats of a matte black paint. Here you can see I was able to go straight to painting, but if I were to do this project again, I'd probably lay down a piece of drop paper to make cleanup even easier. But even without the paper, none of the spray paint transferred through the spray shelter to my balcony. I also didn't need to cover any areas around this project since the shelter took care of that for me. For the spray paint, I gave each coat of paint time to dry and set before coming back to add more. Once each bench leg was covered, I let them dry overnight before assembling the bench. I gathered my 2x4s from earlier and began arranging them for my bench surface. I stained them off camera using a mix of charcoal and rich brown stain. If you'd like to know more about staining or how I stain my projects, you can find links to my previous videos in the description box. So here's a breakdown of the bench that I made. 4 of my 2x4s will be the bench surface, while 1 of my 2x4s will be the bench support. My bench is going to be 6 feet long, so I needed 4 6 feet 2x4s and 1 5 foot 2x4. Of course, these measurements are entirely customizable provided they are under 8 feet. After arranging my 2x4s, I added my bench legs and measured 6 inches inward on both sides to accommodate for my 5 foot support. As soon as I was happy with their placement, I used the hardware that came with my bench legs to attach them. Of course, this step is much easier if you have an extra pair of hands to keep the bench legs in place. Repeat this process for both sides before moving on to the supporting 2x4. These bench legs have a specific spot to insert and attach the supporting 2x4, which is where I realized we forgot to cut ours down. Depending on your measurements, this may not be a problem, but make sure you accommodate for how long you want your middle support to be. Attach the support with the remaining hardware and you're ready to flip your bench over. Coming in at just over $30, this DIY bench is the perfect project for spring. I love that it can be used outside for some added curb appeal, or even inside like ours for rustic seating. I'd like to give a big thank you to HomeRight for sponsoring this video and project. Don't forget to check out HomeRight for their amazing DIY tools. I'll have everything listed down below in the description box where you can also find any supplies I used. Thank you for watching and subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this video. As always, I will see you guys next time. Bye!